Okay, good morning. Let's just start off seated, nice comfortable seated position, and then we'll work our way, maybe hip openers today, and we'll work our way to Gomukhasana, cow face pose. So it's actually a hip opener and shoulder opener. So we'll do both, hips and shoulders. So just start off seated, resting the hands on the knees, close the eyes, and just bring your focus to the breath, starting to take longer, deeper breaths. As you're sitting here, just feel yourself getting taller, getting that natural curve of the lower back, trying to bring the hips slightly forward. Chin tucked or parallel to the ground, head back, so we're not jutting the head forward. A lot of us tend to jut the head forward, especially when we're trying to look at a screen, a phone or a laptop. So try and get out of that habit that brings stress to the neck and the shoulders. Relax the shoulders, broaden across the collarbone, soften the face. Close the eyes, bring your attention to the breath, starting to take longer, deeper breaths, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. In these times of stress, it's useful to just sort of take your time, go to a quiet place, bring attention to the breath. In particular, alternate nostril breathing helps to calm the body, calm the mind. So let's do a few rounds of alternate nostril breathing by taking the right hand, bringing the right thumb onto the outside of the nose, ring finger onto the left side of the nose. Gently close the right nostril, inhale through the left side. Exhale left, inhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. So just go at your pace, remembering to switch from one nostril to the other nostril at the top of the inhale. And just note if you can breathe more easily on one side than the other side. We're trying to even out that breath. As we even out the breath, we even out the mind. We get more balance. And then bring both hands down. Take a few more breaths here. We're just going to slowly take the head from side to side, bringing the right ear to the right shoulder. Inhale back up, exhale over to the other side. Just take your time here. Inhaling coming up, exhaling as the head goes over. Just going from side to side with the head, stretching out the side of the neck. And each time you inhale as you bring the head up, you're trying to get a little taller in the spine, keeping that length in the back. Next time you have the right ear to the right shoulder, hold it. Don't hold the breath, just hold the pose, the position, letting the head get heavier with the breath. And then keeping that side stretch, starting to bring the head a little bit more forward. And then taking the head more backward. Inhale the head up, center, exhale over to the other side. And we hold this position. Feeling the head get heavier with the breath. We start bringing the head more forward. And then more backward. And then back up to center. Now this time we're going to turn the head from side to side. A little bit more movement than usual. Turning the head looking over the right shoulder. Inhale to center, turning the head in the other direction. Just repeat a few times, going nice and slow. And see if you can turn the head a little bit more each time. Trying to look behind you each time. So I'm using the breath, I'm inhaling as I bring the head to center, exhale as I turn the head, trying to look behind me. And again we're going to hold this position, turning the head and hold, getting tall, looking further behind you. Inhale to center, exhale turning the head in the other direction. Inhale to center, exhale chin to the chest. Now this time we're just going to rotate the head in one direction. Nice, slow, big circles. It's almost like you're trying to draw a circle in the air with the chin. And just noting any tight areas, any creaks, any cracks. Should feel good. Neck should like this, shoulders should like this. And we end up with the chin at the chest. And we turn the head rotating in the other direction. And again we end up with the chin at the chest. And we bring the head back up. Work on the shoulders a little bit, loosen up. Bring one shoulder forward, up, back and down. Other shoulder, other side. Shoulders up and down, just trying to loosen up a little bit. Extend the right arm forward, parallel to the ground, shoulder back. Pull that arm in towards you. Easy stretch to begin with. Inhale tall. Exhale as you start pulling the arm in a little closer. Using the breath again. Just feel everything loosening, everything starting to loosen up, to soften, letting you go deeper into that stretch. Switch, extending the other arm forward, parallel to the ground, shoulder back. You're pulling that arm in, pull above the elbow. Inhale, getting tall. Exhale, letting the arm come in a little closer. Release, bit of a side stretch. Take the right hand over to your side, lining it up with the hips. Inhale the other arm up. Reach up as much as you possibly can. And then start bringing that arm over the head, getting a side stretch down the side of the body. And breathe. You're looking up slightly towards the ceiling. Inhale, we come up. Reaching up with the other arm, Exhaling over to the other side. Inhale, we come up, bit of a twist, bringing the left hand to the outside of the right leg. Easy twist. Inhale, back to center. Exhale as we take the twist in the other direction. Okay, one more arm stretch before we go on our hands and knees. Extend the arms to the side. Bring the right arm under the left arm, eagle arms, getting the back of the hands pretty close, or you can bring the fingers of one hand into the palm of the other hand. See if you can touch the nose with the thumb. So we're pulling the arms down. And then maybe bring the arms up. Just find the position that you like. Arms down, arms up, or in between. We're just trying to get a nice, happy stretch across the upper back between the shoulder blades. Happy stretch, a stretch that doesn't hurt. You can feel it. Feels good, but it's not painful. I love that stretch. Extend the arms to the side again, bringing the left arm under the right arm, bringing the palms of the back of the hands together if you can, touching the nose. You can stay with the arms down if you prefer, or if you want, you can bring the arms up, getting tall. Again, we're trying to bring the head back, don't jut the head forward. And breathe. And release. So come onto your hands and knees. Do cat-cow a few times. Inhale, belly down, head up. Exhale, round in the back, tucking the chin. Inhaling into cow. Exhaling into cat. And just repeat this a few times, synchronizing the movement with the breath. The next time you're in cat, hold cat, head is totally relaxed. You're pushing the hands into the ground. You're lifting the belly in towards the spine, trying to hollow the belly. You're breathing. We come into cow. And we hold cow, belly dropped, head up. Now this time we're going to try and pull the hands in closer. And you're going to feel that engages the core. And we hold this for a few breaths. So you're really gluing the hands to the mat. You're really trying to pull in as much as you can. I'm using as much strength as I can to pull those hands towards the knees. And then we just relax. We bring one arm up. I'm bringing the right arm up, thumb up towards the ceiling. Trying to lift the arm higher than the shoulders, and I'm going to lunge slightly forward. That's going to engage that core again. We've been doing this more often. I think this is a great way to strengthen the core. And then if you want, opposite leg comes up, still lunging forward, breathing, not holding the breath. We switch, other arm comes up, thumb towards the ceiling, raising that arm so the hand is higher than the shoulder, trying to lunge a little bit more forward, breathe. We lift the opposite leg up if you want, still trying to lunge forward. And then we come into child's pose. and totally relax. And then we extend the arms forward, extended child's pose, and we walk the hands over to one side, getting a bit of a stretch in the lower back. And then we walk over to the other side, stretching out the other side of the back. And then we recenter, and we're going to come onto our toes. So I do this quite often. I think this is a good way to stretch the toes out, which we tend to neglect quite a lot. It also stretches out the back of the ankles. So we're on the toes, sitting on the heels to begin with, and just bring the hands either side of the knees, and we're just going to bring the knees up and down. And this is going to work the toes a little bit. And then we keep the knees raised, and we're bringing the heels a little closer to the ground, but not all the way down yet. So we've still got a bit of a toe stretch, and we're stretching out the back of the ankles. And then we start bringing the heels lower and lower, and hopefully eventually we can get the heels all the way down. If you can't get the heels all the way down to the ground, what you could do is roll up part of your mat and just slide them under the heels. So I'm trying to hug the knees, and I'm also getting a gentle back stretch. It's just a gentle stretch, it's not hurting. If this does hurt the back, then you obviously need to modify it. You need to come out of the pose, do whatever. And then we come back on our hands and knees. We tuck the toes, we come into downward facing dog. We're going to hold down dog for a few breaths. So get the best down dog you can. You're looking between the feet, you're pushing the hands into the ground, especially the thumb and the index finger. You're pulling the armpits down. See if you can lift the toes up. Trying to keep the back neutral, bending the knees if you have to get the back neutral. You don't want to round the back in down dog. We bring the feet a little closer to each other, and we start walking the dog, bending one knee as you straighten the opposite leg. Take your time. For me, this stretches out my calf muscles. Some people it's more on the hamstring. I definitely feel a calf muscle stretch on this one. Keep going, keep walking the dog. And then let's bring up the right leg, extended down dog. Stack the hips, opening that hip, bending that top knee, keeping both hands solidly on the ground. Breathe. We switch, other leg comes up, extended down dog. We stack the hips, bending that top knee. Top foot joins the bottom foot. We look forward, we walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up, exhale folding forward, relaxing the head. Bend the knees. Inhale, we come all the way up. Exhale into mountain. Inhale, sweep those arms up, look up towards the ceiling. Exhale as you fold forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands, we're back into plank. Knees down, chin, chest forward and down. Inhaling into cobra, opening up the chest. Exhale, down dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, we're going to bring that knee forward, it's off the ground, and we're going to transition to star pose. So you're going to shoot the leg over to the side, lining up the foot and the hands. Both legs are straight, hips are high, you're opening the chest, you're breathing. We bring that top hand down, extended down dog, same side. We switch legs, inhaling as the other leg comes up. And then we're bringing that leg forward, knee, foot off the ground. We shoot the leg over to the side. And we open up towards the ceiling again. Breathe. Hand comes down, extended down dog, top foot joins the bottom foot, knees down, and we're back in child's pose. We come up, sitting on the heels. We bring the hands either side of the feet, fingers pointing towards the front of the mat, tuck the chin, open the chest, head back carefully. Lift the hips up maybe and breathe. Really feel that chest opening. You're working the glutes, the back should be happy. We bring the sit bones down, we slide the hands forward, back into down dog. We look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up, exhale folding forward. Knees bent, we're back in chair, and then we come all the way up. Inhale, sweep those arms up, look up. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands, we're back into plank. Chaturanga or knees, chin, chest to ground. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up. Stack the hips. Now this time, if you want, this is optional. We're going to flip the dog. So you're going to let that top foot come all the way down to the ground. And we're opening up again. A little bit like pyramid. Insofar as we're trying to face the ceiling. We unflip. We switch legs. Other leg comes up. Extended down dog. We stack the hips, bending the knee. And we just let that top foot go all the way over, flipping the dog. Breathe. If this is not possible for you today, you can just hold extended down dog or whatever. We look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale folding forward, relaxing the head, bend the knees. We're back in chair and then we come all the way up. Okay, let's do a few of the warrior. Warrior poses are great for opening the hips and strengthening the legs. So I'm going to face you guys. Starting off at the front of the mat, we'll start off in chair pose. Inhale, sweeping those arms up into chair. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands, we're in plank. Chaturanga. Inhaling into up dog, looking up, opening that chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up, extended down dog. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We're in warrior one pose. And we add a little bit of a backward bend. And we're going to hold this for a breath or two. And you're going to feel this opening the front of the hip of that back leg. Warrior two. Maybe going a little deeper here. And then we look to the side of the room. And we're going to take the arm that's extending over the back leg underneath the front arm, adding eagle arms. Keep visualizing that front leg. Don't let the knee start to come inward. You're working that leg. We do regular warrior two, reverse warrior, and then we flow to the other side. Into plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We're in warrior one on the other side. We add a little bit of a backward bend. On your next exhale, we're going to Warrior Two. Maybe go a little deeper into the pose. We add eagle arms, looking towards the side of the room. Back into Warrior Two, reverse warrior, and then we come into plank. 2 or 3 breaths in plank pose, nice core strengthener. You're looking directly between the hands, you're not letting those hips sink, you're pushing the hands into the ground, lifting up between the shoulder blades. You bring the whole body forward, rocking on the toes. Chaturanga, elbows in. Upward facing dog, looking up, core engaged as you go back into downward facing dog. Take a few breaths. Rest in child's pose if you want. We all come back into down dog. We look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale folding forward, knees bent. We're back in chair and then into mountain. Inhale into chair pose. Exhale folding forward. Inhale halfway up. Exhale we plant the hands. We're in plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale we sweep that foot through. We're in Warrior One. We add a bit of a back bend. On your next exhale, we're going to Warrior Two. We do a reverse warrior, and then this time, extended side angle pose, bringing that right forearm to that front knee, extending that top arm. You're trying to get a straight line from that top hand all the way through to that back foot. Your chest is facing the side of the room. Some of you maybe can lower that bottom hand, reaching for the inside, reaching inside the leg towards the ground or a block, and you breathe. So I'm really pushing that arm into the leg back into the arm. I'm looking up towards the ceiling. It is actually more difficult than it looks. We come back up, try and get yourself back into Warrior Two. Reverse warrior, and then into plank. Chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We're in Warrior One on the other side. And then we come into Warrior Two. Tendency in Warrior Two, if you relax that front leg, this is what happens. The knee comes in, so you've got to work that leg, keep that nice alignment. Reverse warrior, and then extended side angle. Straight line, top hand, top arm through the shoulder, all the way to that back foot. Maybe sliding that hand, the lower arm down to the ground. Breathe. We come back up, back into Warrior Two, reverse warrior, and then into plank. Chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Hold down dog, 2 or 3 breaths, or child's pose. And then we look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale as you fold forward. And we bend the knees. And we come all the way up. And then back into mountain. Bring the hands together. So I'm interlacing the fingers. You might not be able to see, but I'm basically interlacing the fingers. And I'm pointing the index finger towards the ceiling. I'm reaching towards the ceiling, trying to get length. And then I'm going to lean over to one side, getting more of a side stretch. Trying to keep that whole body in one plane and look up towards the ceiling a little bit. Inhale, you come up, reach up, and then exhale over to the other side. We come back up and we bring the arms behind us, interlacing the fingers. We do this quite often. So we're going to bend the knees and rest the belly on the legs. Head is totally relaxed. You then try and pull the shoulders away from the ears and you start bringing the arms up. Take your time on this one, be kind to the shoulders. Maybe every so often just soften a little bit, just relax a little bit, just back off the stretch. Take a breath or two and then see if you can go a little deeper. So I'm trying to relax the shoulders. And then I'll start going a little deeper, or relax again, and then a little deeper, bring the arms up a little higher, and then we slowly come back up, and just shake the arms out. So, an arm stretch, bit of an arm stretch, and a hamstring stretch. And I think this one is called pyramid. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the arms. So the arms can be behind you, just holding onto the opposite elbows like this. Or you can be in reverse prayer. So this is regular namaste. Reverse namaste, a little bit more challenging. We bring the fingertips together. We try and get the palms together as we slide the hands up the back. I have to round the back to begin with. I try and push the palms together and open the chest. A lot of wrist work, a little bit challenging. If this doesn't work for you, you can just hold on to the opposite elbows. We then bring one leg forward. So it's a little bit like warrior two legs, but there's just a little bit less distance between the feet, between the front foot and the back foot. I'm trying to keep pushing those palms together. Then we straighten both legs and we hinge forward at the hips. And you're going to get a bit of a stretch in the back of that front leg. And you're looking directly towards the ground. You don't need to go too far on this one. You're breathing. We hold the reverse namaste. We come up, or you're holding onto the opposite elbows. We swivel on the heels through 180. We make sure both legs are straight. We look forward. We hinge. Bring in the torso parallel to the ground, and you start looking towards that front foot. And you breathe. And then we come back up and we face the side of the mat and we release the arms. That's the best part, is releasing those arms, moving those shoulders. So another nice arm stretch, we're doing lots of arm stretches today, is where you bring the back of the hand, back of one hand between the shoulder blades, just like this. And then you bring the other arm up and you try and hook the fingers. If you're not able to hook the fingers, you could just use a strap So you're holding onto the strap, so that closes the gap between the hands. Or you could just hold onto the opposite elbows again. Now if you can hook the fingers, or if you're using the strap, maybe you can just bring that lower hand a little higher and bring that top arm away from the head. Then we're going to go into a low lunge. Doesn't really matter what side, but if you've got one elbow up, then I like to lunge on the opposite side. So my right elbow is up and my left leg is forward. I'm in that low lunge. So we're getting a shoulder stretch and we're stretching out the hip of that back leg. Now if you want a little bit more challenge still, you can bring the back knee off the ground and you can hold this challenging pose and you breathe. And then we lower and we release the arms. We take the lunge in the other direction. So this time we're going to start off in the lunge and then we're going to add the arms. If you don't want to add the arms, you can just hang out in the lunge. If you want to add the arms, so if your right knee is forward, you bring in the back of the right hand behind the back. If your left leg is forward, it's the other way around. Other arm comes up. When you bring the arm up, try not to let the elbow go out to the side. You're trying to keep that elbow nice and close to the head. I need to get that back hand a little bit higher up the back. And then you try and hook the fingers. Use a strap if you need to. So this is typically the way we all have the arms in cow face pose, Gomukhasana. So that's why we're doing a lot of shoulder work, get ready for that pose. But that adds a lot of hip opener as well. And then here, if you want, you can tuck the toes of the back foot, bringing that back knee off the ground. That's a lot of work. It's strengthening the back leg. It's opening the hip of that back leg as well. And we slowly lower and we release. Best part coming out. Into plank, chaturanga, up dog, looking up, opening the chest, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We're back in a low lunge again. Now this time we're going to add a bit of a twist. We haven't done many twists today. So we're going to bring the outer of your right arm onto the outer. No, you're twisting in the other direction, aren't you? So the outer of the left arm onto the outer of the right leg. And I'm actually pushing, use my other hand to push into the leg so I can get a little bit more leverage. I can get a little deeper into that twist. And then you bring the palms together, elbow up towards the ceiling. Now just like the previous pose, we can bring the back knee off the ground into a high lunge, into a crescent twist, and breathe. We slowly lower the knee, hands either side of the front foot. We get a little bouncy, and on an exhale we switch. Low lunge, into the twist, using that other hand so you can get a little bit more leverage, a little deeper into that twist, palms together, elbow up towards the ceiling, and maybe bring that back knee off the ground and breathe. And we slowly lower the knee. And we come into downward facing dog. We bring the right leg up. And then we're going to transition into pigeon. Another hip opener. We'll start off in raised pigeon. So the knee can be more centered if it's too much of a groin stretch. I usually have the knee slightly out to the side though. I'd like to tuck the toes and walk that back foot a little bit further back. Then you can get lower top of the back foot onto the mat or the floor, extended pigeon, and just relax. If you want to go into a deeper hip stretch and your knee is in a good shape, be careful, this one can put more pressure on the knee, so be careful with the knee on this one, is you take that front leg and you bring the shin a little more parallel to the mat in front of you, the edge of the mat in front of you, and then you go back into pigeon pose. And you can get into a deeper hip stretch, but be careful doing that. Make sure everything's okay. And then you can come back down into extended pigeon. We come up, we switch. Let's walk the dog before we switch. Bringing the left leg up, extended down dog, and then we bring that leg forward, that knee forward. Take your time, get that knee in the right spot for you, knee centered if you need to, toes tucked to the back foot, walking that foot back. So the important thing here is to keep those hips nice and even to the ground, so don't lean over from one side to the other side. Top of the back foot on the mat, foot lined up with the leg, and then extended pigeon. And then for those that want to go a little deeper into the pose, you can bring that shin a little bit more parallel to the edge of the mat that's in front of you, respecting the knee. You're going to feel a deeper hip stretch on this one. And then back into extended pigeon. And then we come back up, down dog, and we walk the dog. And then bring the knees down to the ground. So cow face pose, so the arms typically, just like before, that's typically how we have the arms. If that's too much for you, you can hold on to the opposite elbows. The legs, I start off on my knees. And I'll do the mirror image, so why don't you bring the right leg around the left leg, and you're going to squeeze those legs together, and you're just going to sit with those legs stacked. I can't totally reduce that space, but I want to get those legs as close to each other as I can, so I'll come up, I'll squeeze the legs a little bit more and then come back down. This is the best I can do, but this is going to stretch out both hips. It doesn't matter which elbow goes up. I've got my left knee on top, so I'm going to have my left elbow towards the ceiling. It doesn't really matter, I don't think. So bring the back of one hand behind you. Try and hook the fingers. Sliding that lower hand up the back a little bit, open the chest. You try not to push into the head with the arm, so the head is relaxed and loose. Gomukhasana, cow face pose, shoulder opener, hip opener, and breathe. As I say, if you can't hook the fingers together, you could use a strap or just hold on to the opposite elbows, or you could have eagle arms, whatever. We release and you walk through 360, it's either clockwise or anti-clockwise, trying to keep the feet in one spot. And we set up for the other side. I have to come up and squeeze those legs, and then I come down, and then we add the arms, Gomukhasana on the other side. Nice arm stretch, shoulder opener, hip opener, a lot going on here, and breathe. And we release. So good to come out. Release the arms. Carefully release the legs. Come onto your hands and knees. Downward facing dog. Walk the dog. Hold downward facing dog for 2 or 3 breaths at least. And you bring the knees down and into child's pose. Relax. We come up, sitting on the heels, and then come onto your back. Walk the feet in, nice and close. Pop yourself up into bridge, keeping the gaze towards the ceiling. Feet parallel, legs working, glutes working, hands interlaced, walking the arms, shoulders closer. Pushing the arms, hands, head into the ground, feet into the ground. Breathe. So really grab the mat with your feet and try and pull the feet in towards you. You're not moving the feet, but you're trying to pull them in closer. You're always keeping the gaze towards the ceiling in bridge. And then we slowly come down, releasing the arms. Pull the knees in nice and close and just rock from side to side. Recline pigeon, outer of the left foot onto the right leg, pulling the legs in. Foot close to you, active. And if this is too easy, you can actually hug the leg and just rock, massaging the lower back. So have nice open hips today. And then we switch legs, out of the right foot onto the left leg, holding onto the back of that left leg, or you can hug that right leg and just rock. Happy baby, holding onto the feet, keeping the chin tucked, the head on the ground, trying to let the tailbone get lower to the ground. Take hold of the big toes, palms facing each other, and we extend the legs into a V position, pulling the shoulders away from the ears, eventually getting those legs straight. It might take a while. If you need to bend the knees, bend the knees. So this one you're going to feel the stretch, probably the inside of the legs, but it could also be a hamstring stretch. You're trying to keep the tailbone nice and low, so I'm doing that little bit of a dog tilt. Dog tilt, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to bring the lower back off the ground, tailbone down. Might not happen, but that's the intent. So the back is as neutral as I can get, and I'm really pushing those heels out. And then we take hold of the back of the legs and we rock ourselves into boat. We haven't done a lot of core work, but this is a nice one. Weird plank though. There's a bit of core work. As I say, in boat, the higher the legs, the straighter the legs, the more you're going to have to work keeping that back neutral, working that core. We lower the legs a few inches off the ground. We bring the hands behind the head. You're pushing the lower back into the ground like crazy. And we hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We lower all the way down. We take a full body stretch, reaching with the arms and the legs. We then walk the feet in closer, knees apart, feet wider than the hips. You take the knees over from side to side, windshield wiping. This actually will strengthen the obliques a little bit, and it works the hips, getting them looser, trying to reduce that tension in the hip area. And then we bring the soles of the feet together, Supta Baddha Konasana. Supporting the head, tucking the chin. And I like to just rest my hands on the legs, just encouraging the legs a little lower. You can do that, palms on the belly, hands on the ground, whatever. Focusing on the hips, trying to let that tension just melt. Eyes closed, focusing on the breath. You can stay in Supta Baddha Konasana a little bit longer if you want, or if you're ready, Shavasana, extending the legs. Bring the arms either side of you, palms face up, eyes closed. Moisten the lips, let yourself just sink into the ground. Keeping your attention on the breath. And then just focus on the feet and the hands as you stretch out the toes and the fingers. And then you just relax the feet and the hands. And then you stretch out again. Trying to get as much space between the toes, as much space between the fingers as you possibly can. And then relax. One more time. And relax. And then walk the feet in. Take your time here. Roll over to your side, keeping the eyes closed. 2 or 3 breaths on your side. And then gently push yourself into a seated position. Just keeping the hands on the legs. Create a circle with the thumb and the index finger. Keeping your attention on the breath. Starting to take longer, deeper breaths. Inhale as you bring the arms up to the ceiling, looking up. Exhale as you bring the arms down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Keeping the palms together. Namaste.